Hi, my name is Genie. I'm a goal setting coach and author, and this is a podcast, Dreams to Reality. Dreams to Reality is also a podcast based on a book, Dreams to Reality, on Amazon. The 4 keys to living a life of your dreams. Do check it out. I'll provide it on the show notes below. The topic today is you are the predominant creator of your life. So, around 15 years ago, my cousin introduced me to Buddhism. At that time, the concept of, like being the creator of one's life was unknown to me. I didn't know that I was creating the life that my life, because essentially I was born into a family that believed in a certain religious belief. I'm not going to mention exactly what religious upbringing I had, but essentially we believe that whatever is handed to you is what you need to deal with, and there's no way to change it. It was very fatalistic religious upbringing. It's like, everything's predetermined. Life happens to you, and then there's really nothing you can do. Maybe you can pray to God, and maybe sometimes it will work, maybe sometimes it won't. And so I had this belief that, okay, so this certain thing happened to me in my childhood, so I can't undo it. I'll just have to accept it and live with it for the rest of my life, including the consequences. I'm not going to change it. I'm just going to not know where I'm going to go in life, and then I'm just going to take wherever the wind is going to take me. So becoming a Buddhist, and actually I practice Nichiren Buddhism, and it's a different form of Buddhism. It believes that you essentially are creating your life right now, and that you can change and turn anything that happens to you, and you can turn it into something for your greater good and turn it into something better. And I didn't know that, before I became a Buddhist, I didn't know that you are the predominant creator of your life, that you create your own world and reality, and then although bad things happen to you, you can turn it around and transform it. So it was very different, like when I started become when I converted to Buddhism, it was different mindset, because all my life I thought that I wasn't in charge of my life, that everybody else was in charge of my life. My parents was in charge of my life. I was a slave to, circumstances. I really can't do anything, all I can do is pray, and maybe sometimes my prayers will be heard, sometimes not. So it was pretty empty. My life was pretty empty. And I realized, like, oh my God, like, I am the predominant creator of my life. I create my life and I can design my life. And at first I played with it, I manifested a lot of things, I experimented with it, and it was great. It really did have perfect results. Like, I manifested like a boyfriend and like a job, and basically I was able to move permanently to another country, a different country, just by praying and manifesting and being the predominant creator in my life. But the thing which I found out later on was that sometimes with that belief, it comes with a disclaimer, because there will be bad things that will happen to you. And then what then? What are you going to do? And then there were bad things that literally happened to me. And there was a lot of blaming. I'm like, oh my God, did I create this? How did I create this? Like, what got me here? Basically, one of it was the end of my relationship. So I really blamed myself for it, because I manifested it in my life. So it means like I also had something to do with it de-manifesting, for the guy to disappear from my life. So I'm like, so I blamed myself. But looking back, and now, like, I can definitely say, yeah, to some degree, but I did manifest it or de-manifest it unconsciously because of, we have hidden programs. If you really think about it, if you believe it, you don't have to believe it if you don't believe it, or if you don't want to believe it. But I certainly am starting to believe it, that we have lived many lifetimes. And of course, the causes that we created maybe hundreds or thousands of lifetimes ago, we don't know. Even in this lifetime, the consequences of our actions, sometimes we don't really know, like if it's going to lead to the result that we want. So, and a lot of it is like unconscious, we create unconsciously too. So when bad things happen, we don't really know the exact reason, like, was it the causes I created in this lifetime, or was it the causes that my parents created, or was it causes I created in several lifetimes ago? But the thing is, there's no blaming anymore. It's like, okay, I probably am responsible for this unconsciously or consciously, or maybe my parents, it's just a consequence of something that was done years ago, and this is the result. And then you just accept and understand that, okay, this happened and it's not an ideal situation, but how can I transform this and create even something better? Or, okay, I don't like the situation right now. It's not ideal, but how can I move forward? And that is part of being the predominant creator of your life. When you can make that decision, okay, this thing happened. I don't know how this happened or why this happened. Could be from this lifetime, could be from a different lifetime, could be from my parents, could be from my ancestors, who knows? But it's not ideal. It could also be me too. I mean, in this lifetime, or maybe just months ago or something, like what I created, and this is the result of something that was created. Doesn't matter what the origin was. What matters is that, okay, from this moment on, I have a responsibility to either move on from this, create something better, or transform it. So now you turn into that predominant creator. Like, okay, I may have been given this situation, but I'm still going to create something out of this. And that's where you take your power back. And for many years, even as a Buddhist, I was like blaming something, blaming myself essentially, like, oh my God, why did I create this? Why did I let this happen? I really don't know. Like, some things are just, some results, some effects, we just don't like it, but it doesn't mean we dwell on it. And when I decided that, what, I'm not going to dwell on this, I'm going to create something better. And just a real example, I mean, you could have examples in your life that you can glean from. Basically, in my case, it was like, so I lost a relationship. I had to leave my job in the Northeast, and I was like traveling, and I eventually wound up in the Southwest. So what happened was I had an opportunity. It's like, what can I do better? Or like, how can I do better next time? Or what can I create from out of this? And then what I created was something I never expected that was, going to be created, which was a whole different career of writing books. I now have 10 books on Amazon and counting. I do rapid release. I write contemporary fiction. So this podcast, Dreams to Reality, the coaching thing, it's just a sideline thing. Like, I love doing it. I love helping other people, like guiding them. But my main focus is actually writing books. And because of that event that was really not ideal, it was really horrible, actually. It was very bad. But because of that, like, heartache and that, that pain, I was able to channel it and create something different, like transform it essentially. And I got a whole new career out of it. So if you're ever in a situation right now where it's not the ideal, it's not something you expected, and it's in a bad situation, you have the opportunity to become the predominant creator of your life, and like ask yourself, like, how can I transform this? How can I make this better? Or how can I create something better? Or how can I move on from this? So once you ask that question and you actually act on those questions, take action, you then become a powerful creator and the predominant creator in your life, because the circumstances, external circumstances, they don't matter anymore. They just become a springboard for something better. And years ago, I was a new Buddhist. I was like, what? I don't understand what that means. I didn't have experience yet, but now I can definitely say, oh, this is what it means. Make that something negative into the springboard for even something better. So that's how you become a predominant creator in your life. If you still are in that victim mentality, stay in that state for a while, but don't dwell there. Because a lot of people were like, I remember years ago, like when I experienced my heartache, and I was asking for guidance, and they were saying, move on already from that guy, but it was too soon. At that time I was like just a few months, maybe a few weeks, and then they were saying, move on from that guy, like he's not relevant to your life. But that's very harsh. So definitely, if you are encountering something right now, your situation is not ideal, it's very negative, yes, stay there for a while. Stay there, like just experience it, and you will know when it's time to take your power back and to become that predominant creator of your life. But definitely, when you are grieving, just grieve. Just allow yourself to grieve. When you're stuck in that negative situation, don't resist it. Just stay in that negative situation. Just, marinate in it for a bit, because you will know when it's no longer unhealthy for you to dwell. And you will know, like, okay, I'm grieving, I'm done with the grieving process. What else is possible? How can I create something better? So that's how life works, essentially. We may have results that we never anticipated, or effects that we never anticipated, but just continue on with your life, and there will come a point when you will decide and really choose to become that predominant creator of your life. And thank you very much for listening. I am on TikTok. It's at Mystic Genie 88, MYSTIC Genie GENIE 88. I'm also on YouTube, Genie Hermoso, GENIE Hermoso, HERMOSO. You can write me an email or email me, homeofgenie@gmail.com, HOMEOFGENIE@gmail.com. And I have other podcasts, and I have other episodes from Dreams to Reality. Do check it out. I also have a stand store. I actually sell, if you like my content and you like to be the predominant creator of your life, pick up that my course, like download it. It won't be on sale for a long time. Like, I'll probably increase it back to like 100%. Like it's 77 right. It was 77, but it's on sale. And by the time you're listening to this, it may no longer be on sale. So it's around $26, but definitely check it out. It's at stan.store/Mystic Genie 88. So how can you turn into the predominant creator of your life? Ask yourself that. If you're not in an ideal situation, can you flip the switch and try to become that predominant creator of your life? Thank you very much for listening. Bye-bye.